I've got a question to start out our podcast today. What if there are no rules?
I don't know. I guess I might just have to like go crazy in here.
Sure, brother. I just don't know if it's true. I think there just might be no rules. If people can't tell by now, we're clearly talking about the wonderful sketch comedy I Think You Should Leave on Netflix.
Yeah, I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
You might also know him from Shawshank Redemption. I think he was in A Beautiful Mind.
No, definitely not. He wasn't in either.
Was that not him? No. Those weren't Tim Robinson?
Well, one of them is Shawshank Redemption.
They're not both?
No. But no. Also, no. Sorry. Shawshank Redemption is not Tim Robinson. It's Tim Robbins.
Oh, no.
None of them are Tim Robinson.
I already forgot.
Shawshank Redemption is not the same guy as A Beautiful Mind.
but he is the guy from I Think You Should Leave. And that's what we're talking about today. The beautiful mind of Tim Robinson.
We will be talking about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to The Popcorn Isn't Real, the podcast where we cover all things regarding fan theory and all sorts of media.
Wait, fan theory? How could we have a fan theory about a sketch comedy? That doesn't make any sense. Do we have like several quick fan theories in the form of sketches? Is it something like that?
Mean,
are we that talented and funny?
No, we're not.
We definitely aren't.
We're not going to be as funny as I Think You Should Leave.
Honestly, you are better off turning off this podcast right now and just watching I Think You Should Leave, because I think most of what we're going to do today is just retell I Think You Should Leave sketches.
Yeah. Well,
if that sounds like fun to you.
Our podcast, we're quite popular. We have many listeners. We have received some complaints from our dedicated listeners that sometimes in the middle of a theory, we start talking about I Think You Should Leave sketches, and it's like we just suddenly start speaking gibberish. I'm just saying we should probably make an effort to summarize the sketch first before we just start quoting random parts of it.
If this is our new rule moving forward, then we're going to take a lot of time summarizing Will and Grace episodes in the middle of other theories.
Dude, in this episode, I have something to say about Will and Grace. Get to that later.
All right. This is going to be great. Why are we going to be summarizing sketches? What is this episode all about? What are we doing here?
So we are looking at some theories for the popular show I Think You Should Leave, a sketch comedy created by Tim Robinson. And we have some fan theories from some of the sketches.
Now, at the time of this podcast, at the time of recording, there have been 3 seasons of I Think You Should Leave released. So we're probably only going to cover sketches from the first 3 seasons. It would be very surprising to me if we cover a sketch from the 4th. If we cover a sketch from the 4th season.
Cool.
That would be very strange.
If you haven't seen I Think You Should Leave, you should go watch it because it's very funny. It's a sketch comedy, but
it's
I feel
funny
like
if you like
a little more absurd.
Yeah,
and
if you like absurd as zany
comedies. But I think still funny. Like it's not like I feel like the Tim and Eric show, that's absurd and I enjoy it, but I don't think they're funny.
Oh.
I haven't met a lot of people who have actually watched I Think You Should Leave, but I have met a lot of people who have like seen memes from it. So even if you're not familiar with this show, you've probably seen some memes from it.
I mean, if you've got Netflix, it's way more worth your time than like the unbelievably massive catalog of stand-up comedy that Netflix keeps recommending to me.
Yeah, I mean,
stand-up's fine. I have nothing against stand-up. I'm just not going to turn it on
when you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like
exactly.
I laugh at a stand-up comic when I'm there, but if I watch it on TV, it's just for some reason.
No, well, it's like if I was at a comedy club, that's fine. If I'm having dinner, that's
when
great.
Yeah, you're having dinner, you're at a comedy club.
I feel like if
some
it's
guy,
on my
runs
TV...
up on stage, he gets kidnapped by some random people, and then the comic gets kidnapped by some random people,
and then some lady
and then the venue people get up on stage and are like, nobody panic, but get out!
and leave.
get up and get out.
Everybody get out.
Right now. We need everyone, but everything's fine, but get out right now.
Leave.
With no explanation.
So look, I'm the producer.
As they're just
and
like
everybody
both
get out.
panicking and staring out the door.
They were so scared.
Like their voices are all over the place. Like, everything's fine, guys.
Oh man, like that lady contradicts herself 3 times in one sentence is when she's like,
sit down, sit down.
Sit down, but stand up and everybody get out. See, this is what you might call a sketch, which we haven't introduced, but are now talking about.
Sorry.
It's actually not a sketch.
This is what our audience doesn't like.
So there's this video, which will have no meaning at all when this episode releases. But
several months later,
there's a video of a stand-up comedian who's just, doing his comedy show, and then the events that we just described happen. And it's as confusing as our description of it just was. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Seems like some guy gets kidnapped on stage by like potentially aggressive knife-wielding women, and then the stand-up comedian gets kidnapped.
Yeah, they take his mic, lead him out the door, and he's like, "Oh, okay,
I guess
getting kidnapped."
Just going. But yeah, that's not a sketch.
Sorry. So we are going to start by talking about. So one of the happiest days of my life. Wow.
Wow. Oh my God.
I was driving home and I saw this person driving in front of me had a bumper sticker and it said, "I'm not a piece of shit. I used to be." And that was pretty awesome.
That's a good bumper sticker.
That, of course, being a legitimately quote from I Think You Should Leave.
100% I thought you were going to describe how his bumper sticker said, "Honk if you're horny." And that really helped you because you were having a major problem right then. You just started honking.
Now we're referencing 2 different sketches from I Think You Should Leave. So Torvald, why don't you tell us about the famous, I guess the sketch is called Baby Cries.
Oh, I would have called it Sloppy Steaks. It's a really good introduction to I Think You Should Leave. I think it should be everyone's first sketch that they watch. Basically, they take a premise and they drag it out as far as they can without actually delivering the punchline. And then usually just kind of forget to deliver the punchline and instead deliver something just like a continuation of the sketch at the end. So yeah, Sloppy Steaks is basically about a guy who he's at his friend's party. They're celebrating their new baby, and he tries to hold the baby, and the baby starts crying, and he tries to kind of play it off. He's like, "Oh, I guess he just doesn't like me." Because that's something you might understand a guy would say if he's holding a baby and it starts crying.
And it's a stupid thing to say.
But it's incredibly dumb.
It makes sense to make fun of it.
Right. It's the dumbest thing you could say if you actually think about it, because a guy saying that is implying that he thinks that this baby somehow knows deep down something about him that is making the baby uncomfortable. And that's the premise of this sketch, is that this guy truly believes that this baby knows that he used to be a big piece of shit, but he's not anymore. He used to be.
And then he gets worried that the baby thinks that people can't change.
Yeah, he's like worried about this baby. And he's also worried that the parents are so accepting of the baby's outlook on his used to having been a big piece of shit. And then he starts to realize that the baby's grandpa may have also been a huge piece of shit at one point in his life.
Because the baby cried.
Yes. And apparently there are a few things that make you a big piece of shit. One of them, according to this guy, is having slicked back hair. Another of them is eating, and not just pushed back hair, mind you. It has to be slicked back.
No, slicked back.
Another thing that makes someone a huge piece of shit is when they go to a specific restaurant for a specific food item.
Yes. Although in that case, it might be justified.
Well, yeah, because that was really the one thing he was doing that was actually like a really crappy thing to do.
Suddenly he has a flashback to when he was a huge piece of shit, and we get to see what he means buy sloppy steaks, which is the specific food item he used to order.
He would order
that
sloppy
made him a
steaks at
piece of shit.
Stefano's. That made him a piece of shit.
And as he explains, sloppy steaks is when you pour water on a steak.
Yeah, that's it. And the cool thing is, they can't stop you if you order a glass of water and a steak. What are they going to do? They can tell you not to make sloppy steaks all you want, but you just pour the water on there and you got sloppy steaks.
Well, the waiters really don't like it. He gives them their steaks and he says, guys, please, no sloppy steaks.
The guy's like,
they're like, no, we're not going to do that.
Steaks.
And as soon as he turns around, he goes,
Let's slop them up
and pour their water over the steaks and start eating as fast as they can as the waiters run
One
at them.
One of the guys from like the baby party at the beginning is there with him and is his wingman apparently.
Yeah.
And that guy at the party denied it.
He was part of that guy's Dangerous Nights crew. And during the flashback, it sings
Dangerous
the song.
Nights.
It's Dangerous
That's
Nights.
the name of the song. They made it just for the sketch. Do you know why that guy denied it? Is he worried about having been a piece of shit and he's just not as honest as the main character of this sketch?
Maybe. I didn't see him hold the baby. So
that's true. You're right. He was scared. He knew that baby would know.
Well, he says we went out for wings once.
Right. But they didn't go out for
clearly
wings.
denying
They went
that
out for sloppy steaks. he was clearly there. Either way, the sketch ends with some kind of crystallization of all of the events as he's remembering being on the beach, but then in his memory, he looks over and sees the baby on the beach, and the baby smiles at him and laughs, and he realizes that he's not a piece of shit anymore like he was in his memories.
Yeah. And I feel like that's also implying the baby was seeing that flashback.
Yes, it is
like it could read
that.
his mind.
But that's not weird from his perspective, because he believes the baby can see this about him, right? He believes the baby knows his past. So it makes sense that the baby would share his flashback, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because, of course, in this world, it seems that everyone kind of believes that. The mom when he says, I want to hold the baby again, the mom is like, I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
But that's because he's a crazy person.
He's being weird. But then the dad convinces her by saying, I used to be a piece of shit. People can change. So she really was worried that her baby was reading his mind.
Relented to the social pressure from her dad. I don't know. But I think it's a great sketch, and I think that's a great example of what we're going to be doing in this episode, which is providing sort of like a psychoanalysis of the ideas behind these sketches and the actual true meaning of these sketches.
I think that's what's fun about I Think You Should Leave. Most of the sketches are good. Not all of them do I like right away.
No.
A lot of them I think aren't even funny the first time I watch them, but I go back because they're interesting. And then I start to realize that they're very deep and complex. And I feel like the characters, like, I don't know if this is what they do, but it seems like they have huge backstories for all the characters. And they all seem to end on like a almost poignant note. That kind of makes us question, whether we should be laughing at these poor crazy people who are in the sketches.
Like that guy who he didn't want his girlfriend to take his food. So he made the waiter come over and tell them that there's a rule at this restaurant.
you can't take all the nachos.
And then take all the nachos with all the toppings.
I also feel like I should reiterate, you should go watch this show. Because it would be far more entertaining than hearing us talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, one thing I've noticed just from listening to interviews from former SNL comedians like Tim Robinson and Bill Hader, they're very nervous people. And you'd think they're really good with people because they're funny and they get up on stage. No, they're very anxious. And I think a lot of them deal with anxiety by like just swearing a lot and sometimes the weird stuff they do is funny. And that's where their humor comes from.
This would be a probably good chance for you to go over your theory about the ghost tour.
So the ghost tour sketch, there is a popular theory, top comment on YouTube, that this sketch is based on Tim Robinson's time at SNL.
Hold on. These comedians, you talked about how they're a little awkward and they might start swearing. Do they ever like pop out of the walls and like cum shot all over? Horse cock, donkey dick on the couch. or whatever.
All right, so the ghost tour sketch is...
Well, the thing our audience needs to understand is that this is a special episode where the kids aren't allowed here.
This is the adult podcast episode, so we can say whatever the hell we want.
Oh, whoa. Jizz.
So the ghost tour sketch. A group of people are doing a typical ghost tour, and the guide is having a fun time.
Have you ever done an actual ghost tour? Because that's like something I would like to do, but I haven't had the opportunity.
I just don't see how they would be interesting. It's like just them making crap up, and nothing scary really happens. They just talk about like stuff that happened in a house.
Yeah, I just don't see how it can be a thing that you can redo like every single day and still have people show up for. Right?
I don't get it. The guide starts off by saying that this is the adult tour. It's after 10 o'clock, so we can say whatever the hell we want because there's no kids around. And then Tim Robinson in the back says, jizz.
His brain completely breaks. And he can't any longer socially function.
The guide says, excuse me? And he's like, jizz, like cum shot? You said we can say that because it's the adult show. We can say whatever we want. And the tour guide is like, yeah, I guess there are no rules about swearing, but try to keep your comments, on topic. The guide is giving his tour. He says, this is the dining room, or as we like to call it here, the dying room. And he keeps making these kind of just silly, just like dad jokes. They're not very funny. They're just like puns or like, I guess she should have swiped left, like, dumb Tinder jokes. But Tim Robinson keeps interrupting to ask questions like, hey, does any of these fuckers ever pop out of the walls and say, oh, there's a horse cock in my room or a donkey dick?
Right. The point of this sketch is that Tim Robinson's character can't understand the direction that was given to them at the beginning of the tour. And he thinks that in order to participate in the tour, he needs to swear? Is that what's going on?
Well, that's not really what's going on. If you watch it again,
the guy keeps telling him not to swear.
He says to Tim Robinson, can I talk to you for a sec? He pulls him aside and says, look, I'm glad you're having fun, but I put a lot of work into what I do, and you are totally making fun of it. And Tim Robinson just looks like surprised, just like, what? Like shocked.
Well, he doesn't understand what this guy's
It's not
telling him.
for
He's not
kids.
making fun
It's
of
the
it.
adult show.
Yes.
So they go to the next room, and the tour guide is doing his thing, and Tim Robinson raises his hand because he has a question, but now he's crying.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm not trying to give anyone the worst day of their job. I just want to know, do any of these fuckers ever blast on out of the wall and have like a huge cum shot?
Cum shot. So wait, now it seems like he's been deeply touched by what the tour guide told him. And it seems like he understood that he is making the tour guide mad, and yet he can't stop.
He's just trying to understand
his actions that are making the tour guide mad.
The tour guide says, I just talked to you about this. And Tim Robinson's like, you can't change the rules just because you don't like how I'm doing things. Can we or can we not swear? The other people around him get annoyed and say, all right, I'm sick of this. You're done. And they kick him out of the group. He goes out to the car, and his mom is waiting for him in the car. And she says, did you make any friends? And he says, not really.
Not really.
And then they drive away.
Well, and then the car is like full of Christian paraphernalia. And I think the implication is that he comes from like a very devout Christian family, and swearing is something out of the ordinary for him. So he believed that like he was doing the right thing because he has no idea how to actually swear. So he thinks that he was following the directions and following the rules at this place. And now he doesn't understand why he's been kicked out.
He's really trying, and this is a theme that you can see in several of the sketches. He really tries to understand what the guide is telling him to do, and he's trying to follow the rules.
Yeah.
My interpretation was like, this is a person who just like can't stop swearing. And so he thought he'd be okay at the adult show
Okay.
for the
Okay.
Larboard Oaks Ghost Tour.
That's an
But
interesting interpretation of this. So you think that whenever he opens his mouth, he has like tics that are causing him to insert swear
maybe
words into
he's
his.
socially self-conscious. Something about being
Okay.
in a social situation makes him nervous enough that he wants to swear.
Okay.
He thought he'd be able to make friends
That's
at a
interesting.
place where it's okay to swear when he hasn't been at any other place been able to.
That's a very sensible interpretation. My interpretation of the sketch was that he is a person who is very rigid and he feels like he has to follow all the rules. And when somebody tells him a rule, he needs to follow that rule. Like that's just how he works. That's how his brain works. And therefore, when the guy said, we can swear, he's like, okay, swearing is the rule. So every time he opens his mouth, he swears.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
More of kind of like an OCD thing, I guess.
Well, right. And then he's not understanding the guide because he continually asks the guide. He's like, but you said that we can swear. That's the rule, right? And the guide always says, yes, of course, but don't do it. And so his brain's cross-wired and he's like, wait, how can I swear and not swear? And then he's really
like
trying his
horsecock
best to
and donkey dick, and you're getting mad. You see where I'm just like,
Exactly. But I like your interpretation as well. I would like to hear, because I don't think either of those are the popular theory that you mentioned about this sketch.
So the popular theory is that this is a metaphor for Tim Robinson's time on SNL.
Whoa, wait. Tim Robinson was on Saturday Night Live?
Yes. So Tim Robinson was on Saturday Night Live.
He must not have been on very long. I never saw him on Saturday Night Live.
So I've been watching Saturday Night Live in backwards order, starting with the most recent season and slowly getting back. I'm back in like 2014.
That's the best way to watch Saturday Night Live, because then it will just get better and better. That's a great idea.
People say that, but I'm not sure. Anyway.
That's like watching Robot Chicken in chronological order. It just gets better and better.
Yeah.
It starts out really unbelievably horrible, just like trash, and then every episode is just a little better until it's like a masterpiece of a show.
One thing I've noticed when watching SNL is that there are many seasons. They always have some famous comedians in there, but then there are always some random people in there who you don't know that person's name, and that person usually doesn't really get to do much that's funny. They're kind of just an extra in every sketch. Okay. And I feel like that was Tim Robinson's job. Not that he had some funny sketches, but a lot of times he was just a person in the sketch, like maybe the straight man, or maybe just like a background person, like who doesn't really get to say or do much. I feel like he wasn't one of the people who you remember from Saturday Night Live. Not like, apparently people really love Bill Hader. He wasn't really from my time. But like Kate McKinnon, people love Kate McKinnon. She's the one on Ghostbusters who says, let's go.
Oh, dude, I love when she licks that gun. It's like, wow. Or when she like dances with various objects. That's like the highlight of the movie. It keeps happening.
The general interpretation is that the tour guide in the Ghost Tour sketch represents SNL. He does middle of the road mainstream jokes, and that's what SNL is. Tim Robinson has said that he used a lot of rejected sketches from SNL in I Think You Should Leave, because a lot of his stuff was not SNL material. It was too weird, or he went on too long, or it just was random and strange. It was I Think You Should Leave, probably. This was how he felt on SNL. He was there pitching ideas and basically just spewing crap that's strange, and everyone thinks he's weird and everyone thinks he should leave. And then he left SNL.
That's a very good theory. And again, very poignant, right? Like it's it adds a bit of like a bittersweet edge to that sketch.
And in addition to that, SNL airs famously on Saturday night, very late. In fact, after midnight, if you're actually on the coast where it airs. So it's technically Sunday morning.
Just like the Ghost Tour.
Just like the Ghost Tour it's after 10 p.m. and this is the adult tour, so we can say whatever the hell we want. Mm-hmm. It's this weird thing where Saturday Night Live is late and it's for adults, yet you're not really allowed to swear on it.
Right, yeah.
You can just say like
too
hell.
Crazy. It's just, it still has to be cable worthy, right? I had never heard that theory before, but it makes perfect sense. I feel like there's another sketch in season 3 that's kind of similar.
Are you talking about Wildly and in Wild Ways?
No, I was talking about Banana Breath. where it's a group of office workers and they're in an HR meeting, and this lady comes up with a joke that's really only funny to her. It's basically the HR manager asks her, "What should this person say in this situation?" And she says,
"Back away, banana breath. What the hell did you just eat? A banana?"
and this joke is only funny to her, and she can't stop laughing about it. And she tries to make t-shirts about her little joke and about this HR meeting. And she tries to get them to make designs. But in the end, the design sucks and everyone's mad at her.
Because she's violating HR rules.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know the size of her body.
Along with what you were talking about, maybe this is like the journey of Tim Robinson trying to put together a sketch and him thinking it's great and it's really funny and he's trying to get all his friends on it. And then in the end, everyone just kind of hates it and they don't even air it on Saturday Night Live.
Having done some comedy writing and known a lot of comedy writers, I can say that comedy writers and comedians in general just love laughter, right? Like they're laughter sponges. As I said, they may not necessarily be very social people. They may not know how to like interact or talk, but we love it when we can make people laugh. She actually does get a few laughs, and to her, that's the most prized possession.
Yeah, that's
she's just
everything she's ever
I'm gonna be really great.
She's so
I
happy.
think that is a comedy writer writing that sketch, just like showing how they're so happy whenever they get any laugh, and people around them just don't understand what it means to them.
Yep.
I think that it's sort of the inverse of the Christmas Came Early sketch. The Christmas Came Early sketch is a guy walks in and says to an office, "Hey, we got a new photocopier. Looks like Christmas came early." And everyone kind of chuckles. And then this other woman, her name I think is Candy in this sketch, she says another joke like, "Yeah, too bad he didn't wrap it." And everyone's just like, "What?" And she keeps trying to make jokes like that about Santa, and people don't understand. And it really seems like you think that maybe she believes in Santa.
Right.
Like that's kind of, I think, what her coworkers are interpreting is that
I got
she's somehow offended.
She thought it was offensive of this guy to like take Santa's name in vain. And she's like snarkily responding to him was my interpretation.
The main guy who made the first joke is like, "Let's just hope nobody photocopies their butt on this," and everyone kind of chuckles. And then she makes some weird comment about, "Oh, that horny old elf is a mean bastard to give this to us early for Christmas." And then no one laughs
because it's not a joke.
Funny. So finally their manager is like, "All right, everyone, this whole photocopier seems to have gotten us worked up. Let's go back to work." She goes back to work for about a second, and then she gets a look on her face and tries to do one more time and says, "Are we even gonna get anything this year? Because I didn't ask for that. Is that my gift for Christmas?" And then finally it comes out at the very end that she's mad because no one laughed at her jokes. It's not that she's insane and she actually believes in Santa.
She just wanted to laugh.
She was trying to make jokes. Everyone laughed at the other guy's joke and she just wanted to laugh. So yes, I feel like that one is another metaphor for how comedy writers feel when someone else is getting laughs and their jokes are weird, like say Tim Robinson at SNL.
Yeah.
My jokes are weird and no one's laughing at them and no one wants to do them.
You know, I always took that sketch as like a dig at like your joke but worse, right? Like some people when they hear a joke, they'll try and share in the glory of that joke by telling the exact same joke just slightly worse. And you see this on Reddit all the time because everyone's a comedian.
Like on Simpsons. "You sure are good at repeating the joke I just told you."
Oh, that was even just your joke, but your joke. I mean, it wasn't even worse. It was just Homer repeating the Texan. The
last meta theory I had was the Tiny Pimp sketch.
Whoa, that's a weird sketch. What do you want to say about that one? I think
wildly.
A lot of the sketches are really weird. I feel like that is like maybe the weirdest sketch.
I love this sketch.
This is like a very weird sketch. Like before I saw this sketch, you described it to me. And even having seen like seasons 1, 2, and most of season 3, I couldn't even imagine how this sketch worked because it's just so out there as far as an I think you should leave sketch. Like
it's pretty weird.
It's just weird.
Tim Robinson is in a room with a bunch of, I think they're accountants, and there is a woman with curly hair sitting next to him. And all of a sudden, there's a rumble in the building. She says, "Oh, don't worry. It just makes a loud sound whenever the AC turns on here." And then one person at the table is like, "Oh, I thought it was like a truck backing into the building." And someone else is like, "I thought it was an earthquake." Tim Robbins says, "I thought it was like a volcano erupting." And everyone looks at him and is like, "Really? A volcano here?" Like, the curly haired woman looks at Tim Robinson and says, "Man, I wish I could be in this guy's head." And then they go back to work.
Yeah.
Except Tim Robinson isn't really working.
He's very stuck
looks at
on her comments. he's got
He looks
more
at
to say
his
now.
highlighter and says, "I thought this highlighter was like a little pimp." And she's like,
What?
They start getting into a big argument because people are telling Tim Robinson to shut up because he keeps saying things or other things. And finally, this manager lady comes in and someone blames the curly haired woman. They're like, "She said that," I forget his name in the sketch. She said that Tim was creative.
She didn't even
which is
say that.
weird.
She just said she wanted to see what was going on in his head.
So she pulls the curly haired woman
now
aside.
She's in trouble, even though Tim was the one
says,
being a weirdo.
"Don't say anything Tim says is interesting or good."
Yes, or good.
Or he's going to start picking up things and saying that they're other things.
Mm-hmm.
She comes back in and sits down, and then he holds out his hand to her.
This is where it gets really weird.
She takes his hand and she looks down and she sees like a little pimp
walking
walking by, a little
around.
pimp walking on the table.
And then
she looks out the window and there's a volcano erupting. And then it shows her just mesmerized by the beauty and magic, and it shows Tim like frothing at the mouth with his eyes rolling back as he telepathically links with her.
He
whatever.
conveys this message into her head. So what is the point of this sketch? Seems like a lot of work for a very weird punchline.
I think that this is a meta sketch.
Yeah.
I think that this is Tim Robinson feeling like an outsider in the comedy community.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everyone else here are the other comedians, and they're like, "Don't say Tim is interesting, or Netflix is going to give him his own show, and he's going to start saying things or other things." Like what happened. And I think that the curly-haired woman represents us as the viewer.
Few audience
we're
members
seeing
actually
his
laughed
unique
at his
perspective
stuff.
as we watch his show on Netflix as he slowly goes insane from creating this alternate world for us.
I mean, that's really good. I like that one. That's just Tim. That's who he is. He's the guy who, when he looks at a highlighter, he doesn't see a highlighter. He sees like a little pimp walking around on the table. Just he sees things that aren't like funny or clever in any way. Like, why would a pen be a bloody knife?
Don't say that he's creative.
No, don't do it. He's pretty crazy.
Don't tell him that anything he says is interesting or good.
Right, yes. Well, but that's the way it is, though, because if you start telling him he's good, then he's gonna start getting his own idea that he should have his own specials and he should have his own sketches and he should maybe have his own TV show. And I like that meta interpretation of "I think you should leave" because it makes sense for a very awkward guy with a very awkward style of comedy. And I actually wanted to talk a bit about the origins of "I think you should leave." Did you know that there is a secret, extra long "I think you should leave" episode that's not part of the show?
No.
Netflix created a show called Netflix Presents The Characters back in 2016, where they just gave random comedians entire episodes. And one of those episodes was given to Tim Robinson. And I had never even heard of this until just recently. And I went and watched it, and it is insane. Because "I think you should leave" episodes are only like 15 minutes long, right? This is a full length, like 30-minute "I think you should leave" episode, but from before "I think you should leave" ever existed. My theory is that he was just one of the random comedians with his name in the hat that Netflix happened to pull out, and they gave him an episode.
Oh, no. And someone said he was interesting or good.
Exactly. Someone said he was interesting or good, and he managed to spin that out into his own TV shows. For people who haven't seen it, please, if you like "I Think You Should Leave," go and watch Netflix Presents The Characters, episode 7, Don't bother watching any of the other episodes. They all suck.
Yeah,
they
well,
are
that's the
all
problem
horrible.
I made,
They're
'cause-
really
yeah.
bad.
Because after I finished I Think You Should Leave, I was like, what else can I watch? And Netflix suggested that Netflix presents the characters, and I tried to watch it. I was like, oh, never. I knew Tim Robinson did one episode, but I never got to it.
So the only other episode, I tried watching like some of them. I got halfway through like 3 of them and just couldn't continue. The only other episode that wasn't complete garbage, but was still pretty bad, was the Lauren Lapkus episode. And I feel bad saying it was any good because it kind of sucked too. But the best line of that episode was it's like a full day of events with a bunch of characters that kind of their lives intersect, but not really. And Lauren Lapkus plays like half of those characters, right? So she'll have one sketch that leads into another sketch with different characters, but she plays characters in both sketches. One of those stories that's going on, this kid's hanging out with his friend Chucky, and it turns out his mom is on a date with Chucky's dad. And he's like, oh, what are you doing, Mom? Why are you on a date with Chucky's dad? And the kid is played by Lauren Lapkus. And then later in this sketch, Chucky's dad actually shows up and he comes and starts talking to the mom. And the mom's like, what are you doing here, Carl? And then the dad's like, oh, come on now. Call me Chucky's dad. It's the best line ever. It made me laugh so hard. It was so unexpected, but that's what everyone had been calling him until that point. He actually goes by Chucky's dad. It's so good.
Wow.
And it wasn't even delivered by Lauren Lapkus. It was just delivered by this random guy. They got to play Chucky's dad. It was so good. Anyway, Tim Robinson's episode, it has some amazing sketches. The first one, Sammy Paradise, is amazing. It's really good. It's particularly good because you can see the outcome from a mile away. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you. It's really good.
Wow.
Another one that I am going to talk about later is the Pointer Brothers sketch, which at first I didn't like so much, but it really grew on me. But the best one of all, which is just out of this world good, is the one where he sings to his baby daughter. This one I am going to spoil you just because I love it so much. There's this guy who is Tim Robinson, and he's like putting his baby to bed in the crib. And he's like, oh gosh, little girl, I love you so much. I'd do just about anything for you. And then he sits down, picks up his guitar, and he starts singing. He's like, well, my little baby, she is going straight to sleep. And then someday she'll grow up and she'll scrape her little knee. And then I'll hug her, tell her everything, it'll be okay, right? And he sings this whole song about his daughter. He sings about her growing up and going to school and going to college and moving away and getting a job. And for the first 4 minutes of this sketch, you're just like, where's this going? Like, this is not funny. This is just a guy singing to his daughter. And he starts singing about this guy that his daughter's gonna marry. And the song becomes more and more about this guy. He's like, this guy, he's so cool. And he'll say all these cool things. And then one day someone will insult my daughter and he'll punch that guy out in one hit. And I'll say, gosh, how'd you do that? And he'll look at me and smile and wink. And then one day he'll come to give my daughter a ride on his motorcycle, but she won't be there. So I'll say, how about I go instead? And then we'll go out on a ride. And then we'll sit down together in the grass. And I'll say, gosh, why are you marrying my daughter? You could do so much better than her. And it ends with him walking out into the street, but then a truck is about to hit him, and then this wonderful guy pushes him out of the way, but gets hit by the truck and dies.
Oh, wow.
And then it ends with him just weeping and crying and grieving at this guy's graveyard, this guy who his daughter was going to marry. And then that's the end of his song. And he puts away his guitar and it's like, I love you, little girl. Just wanted to sing to her about her awesome, unbelievably cool future boyfriend who is one day going to save his life. It's so good.
Wow.
It's an amazing sketch. Seriously, watch episode 7 of Netflix Presents the Characters. But let's talk about Bozo.
Okay, so Bozo dubbed over.
I think that this sketch is about a guy who just has no idea what a YouTube video is. Like, he doesn't even understand the concept. Like he's
Yeah.
completely
Well,
lost.
so on its surface, I do think the joke, as many of these sketches do, I think they start as a simple joke and they go in a weird direction. And this one I think is there's a guy who's much older than everyone else working
Right.
here, and he has no clue
He
what they're
can't fit
talking
in. Yeah,
about.
he can't fit in with the younger crowd. He's sitting there. They're waiting for a meeting, and the younger people in the room start turning on YouTube videos. They're like, "Hey, you know that funny video where the clown lady falls down?" Ha ha ha! And they all laugh about it. And they're like, "Oh, the weatherman. Have you seen the one where the weatherman draws a penis?" And they all laugh about that. And the
He
whole
had to get
time,
fired for
this
that.
guy Reggie is just looking confused and worried, but like he's trying to fit in. So he's like laughing along with them and being like, "Oh yeah, that one's so weird. Yeah, I've totally seen it." But then they ask him what his favorite one is.
What's your favorite, Reggie?
He clearly has no idea how to even respond to this question. Like he just starts blabbering like he's
There are
gosh,
well,
there's tons
he doesn't even
that just
know
blow
what
me
it is
away.
that they're impressed about, because he's like, there's so many that just blow me away. Not that they're
Right,
funny.
but viral
Like,
videos aren't supposed to blow your mind. And then to explain to them why they can't find them, he's like, I just can't remember how to type it in. Which is a weird thing to say you can't remember.
And then she's like, well, I could search for it.
And then
What
he just
happened?
starts like parroting her, because then he's like, I just can't remember how to search for it. He just repeats the phrase she said and says, I can't remember what you said. Right? That first half ends with him like laughing
it's a two-part sketch.
and crying a single tear, like to show that he's
Right.
completely out of his depth. He's been dumped into a situation that is just so far beyond him. But he's not going to give up, because in part 2, the next day, he's all like, hey guys, I have one. Have you ever seen Bozo dubbed over? And then he explains to them how to search for it.
How to type it in, because he didn't know how to type it in.
He's trying to prove to them that he does know these things now. He knows how to type it in, and he knows how to search for it. So he's like, type in Bozo dubbed over, and there's spaces between each of the words. Like, that's something you need to specify when you tell someone to type in a sentence.
And maybe in his mind it is, because like when you type in a URL,
right? Yeah,
then there's no spaces. But if you're searching, there's spaces.
Then she's like, it has one view, and it was uploaded at 6 a.m. this morning. And he's like, yeah, have you seen it? It's hilarious.
Obviously, they haven't seen it. It has one view.
He's conceptually completely out. Like, he has no idea what she is saying to him, but he's trying real hard to grasp it and fit in.
And here's where it almost feels like the sketch devolves a little into just like, the joke is that someone's swearing a lot. But I think it gets even smarter.
Well, that's because they watch it, and the sketch is just Bozo the clown, but he's dubbed over and just swearing all the time and saying the most random weird things like, I'm not even supposed to be here. I hope I don't jack off. Which is like, why would you hope you don't do that? Just don't do it. It's not a thing you need to.
That a danger of happening.
Right. And so this leads into the conversation that follows, where they start discussing like,
Reggie,
what is this? Is this supposed to be what Bozo's thinking or saying? And then Reggie insists that this is Bozo. Bozo did the dub. Bozo's the one.
Right. Because they're like, what's this guy trying to do?
Right.
He's like, what guy? There's no guy.
Well, and the girl says, I feel like it makes more sense if a different guy is dubbing over it. And she's right, because it only makes sense if this is somebody else who's like narrating Bozo's actions and then saying, I hope I don't jack off, because like, I don't know what Bozo's going to do here. He might jack off, right? You know, that's the only way it makes sense. But Reggie insists that this is Bozo's voice that we're hearing.
This is what he wanted to say when he was on the show. And now he apparently made a YouTube video dubbing himself over.
My theory about this is that he cobbled together everything he could understand from the viral videos they watched the day before. He remembered the first video had a dancing lady with a clown mask. So he's like, okay, viral videos must have something to do with clowns. Then the weatherman accidentally drew a penis. So he's like, okay, viral videos must have something to do with sex. And then they talk about a kid who puts a glow stick in a microwave. They didn't actually watch it, but they talked about it. And I think he kind of is like, okay, viral videos must have something to do with kids. So he makes this video with a clown talking about jacking off in front of kids. And he's like, that's a viral video. I made it. It has all the elements.
No, yeah. I think you're correct here.
That's my theory. That's
Very
what I got.
Similar to like
Bozo
what we were
Dubbed
talking
Over.
about with the ghost tour. It seems to be about someone who's trying his best to understand how to
Yes.
be like a normal person, but utterly failing at it,
Mhm.
despite his best efforts.
Yep, that's
And
it.
so it ends with them asking, Reggie, did you make this video so you'd have something to show? And it slowly zooms in on his face. And then he, even though he doesn't move his lips, he's dubbed over himself saying no.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is just that Reggie definitely filmed this himself. It wasn't that he just found old videos.
This is something mind-blowing that I had never thought about until you presented this idea to me. The video that they show, the black and white video of Bozo the Clown, I always just assumed this is an actual old like stock footage, like archive footage of Bozo the Clown that they actually dubbed over.
No.
You believe that they filmed that.
Yes.
And also, you believe that Bozo is played by Tim Robinson, right?
Possibly. That I could not figure out for sure, but maybe.
He could be. He's wearing a lot of makeup and a big clown wig, so...
Yes, I think Reggie filmed this himself somehow. I don't know how he had access to kids or the recording studio. I watched some of the old Bozo show. Bozo does not look like he does in this video that Reggie shows. It is a different actor. Whether or not it's Reggie, I'm not 100% sure. The other big part of this theory is the clown pewter.
Right.
Bozo doesn't like this clown pewter because he's like, it probably doesn't have any games.
Yes.
Now, in the actual Bozo show, he does have a computer, but it's called a Bozo pewter, which is so much worse of a name.
Yeah, that's a much worse name than clown pewter. Clown pewter actually almost sounds like computer. Bozo pewter is nothing. It's like Bozo and a rock. Like pewter.
I mean, it's just a dumb prop. It's made out of cardboard, but it has numbers written on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's binary. It's just zeros and ones, right?
Right. Yes, it's binary. The numbers are 10100111010.
It's gonna take a while.
That is the binary for 666.
Whoa.
If you have watched the Futurama episode that's parodying Christine, where Bender gets bitten by a werecar, at one point he looks on the wall and sees that exact same number, 101101110, and he screams because, of course, it means 666.
Well, he first saw it, backwards, and then he looked in the mirror and saw it the right way. And...
Right, yeah. That proves that this was not on the original Bozo show.
It doesn't prove it. Someone could have put something weird like that in there, right? Like, it could happen.
I
Someone
just
could
don't
insert the word sex in the air when Simba falls down. Someone could put a topless lady in.
All right,
the rescuers,
we can cover those in other episodes. But I think that this was something that was created by Reggie himself. And I don't know why he put 666 in there, but, maybe he's a devil worshiper. I don't know.
One of my favorite parts of this sketch is when Bozo is dubbed over to point at that guy and say, "This guy's about to jack off." That's really good. But the other part is when that guy takes his hat off and Bozo's like, "Whoa, I thought this guy's supposed to be bald," which is great because I also thought that guy was bald until he took his hat off. He really, for whatever reason, he looks very
it was
bald.
Someone watching this thing and just doing their own commentary on it because he does look bald. All right, that's Bozo dubbed over.
I want to talk about a sketch that I just really like. The concept for the film Detective Crashmore as played by Santa. I really like it. Everything about that sketch. And I didn't expect to like it because, again, first time you watch it, you feel like the comedy here is just that, Santa's swearing a lot. Ha ha, I guess. Right? That's not very funny. Mm-hmm. But that isn't funny. And that's not the funny part of the sketch. I love the idea of an action hero who just never says anything even remotely clever. Like, action heroes are known for their witty one-liners, right? For saying stuff like, not even witty, but just, one-liners like, "Stick around," or "I told you I'd kill you last, I lied," right? This guy, Detective Crashmore, he just says whatever happens to be on his mind, and he doesn't think very much. He's just saying stuff like, I'm so pissed, you suck. And when he gets a gun he likes, he's like, I like that gun. You knew I'd like that gun. That's one of the nicest guns I ever seen.
He said he's going to kill you.
He might kill you, but there's no way he's ever killing me.
Kill me.
He said that.
Did he say that? What an asshole.
Like, in the interview with AOL Blast.
Yeah. So they show this trailer for Detective Crashmore during one part of the episode. Later in the episode, there's like a behind the scenes.
Is that Crashmore's played by Santa, which is just weird.
And then AOL Blast is interviewing him later for like behind the scenes, interview.
And he gets pissed that they call him Santa and bring attention to it, because apparently he doesn't mind if people know. He just doesn't want to talk about Christmas, I guess.
Because he's an actor. He wants to be interviewed as an actor. And so the interviewer, after Santa threatens to leave because he just mentioned that Santa is Santa, the interviewer starts.
I feel like you sold Detective Crashmore, the movie, a little short, because it's not just swearing and violence. Like, it's hyper violence, but it knows what it is. It's a bit Tarantino, definitely a bit Michael Mann. It's sort of a cosmic gumbo. It almost moves to the beat of jazz.
So
dude, you Santa's and I, we would joke about it being a cosmic gumbo, right?
So Santa answers his questions after this, but he's just like being a total asshole. And his two co-stars who are with him never say a word. They just kind of keep looking at him uncomfortably as he's just kind of like an asshole who just is up his own butt about everything.
Yes.
And then
why would you ever describe a movie as a cosmic gumbo? And then why would you allude to that being something that you like joked about on set?
So, they ask him how he felt about the nudity in the film. And he's like, well, I mean, the script called for it, so it's fine. I've seen every cock on the planet.
Right. Apparently his standpoint is, I've seen all of you nude, naked. So you should see me nude.
And they're like, why? And he's like, well, I got to check if people have tattoos.
Right, but he doesn't care if people have tattoos. It's just not good.
And they're like, wait, you
can't get a present if you have a tattoo. At least not that year.
Not that year.
The interviewer asks him a very pertinent question with, him being Santa and all. The interviewer's like, how does that money help you? And he explains, well, it helps him because that amount is called his quote. It's his rate.
That's his rate.
And that means that anytime he is offered another film, they have to pay that same amount, even if he does a bad job. So even if he's offered one more movie, he gets the $2 million. They have to give him the $2 million.
He keeps saying that. Even if I do a bad job, they have to
even
pay
if
me
he
$2
does a
million.
bad job. Right. Now, you told me a really weird theory about this that I had never heard of, that you thought his character is like based on a true story.
This whole sketch is based on an actual interview that happened that you can watch on YouTube.
Okay.
So let me tell you about this interview, because it is even weirder. Everything about it is so much more bizarre than what I Think You Should Leave did. Like, they toned it down.
So wait, this is like a real life, like Tom Cruise Oprah situation versus the Scary Movie parody of it, which is somehow toned down from the real life.
So Billy Bob Thornton, who, if you don't know, he's basically the American Jeremy Irons.
Okay.
They're basically the same person as far as I'm concerned. Only one is British and one is American.
Dude, what if you had to make an anagram of Jeremy Irons' name?
Oh, Jeremy's iron.
I have a ball. you
can bounce it. Got away from you.
I love the idea that her not being able to immediately make a complex anagram of a random celebrity name implies that she's so stupid the only thing she could possibly play with is a rubber ball. You better give one
not
to her.
Even very well with that.
No, got away from her. As to be expected of someone
talking
very
about
intelligent.
Simpsons randomly, of course.
Great Simpsons gag. Sorry.
So Billy Bob Thornton, his band, the Boxmasters, came on a podcast or radio show or something called QTV, and they're being interviewed. The interviewer introduces them And he mentions that Billy Bob Thornton also is known for his film career, but music was his first passion. As he says that, if you look at Billy Bob Thornton, his jaw drops and he looks up at the ceiling like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that.
Okay.
So the interviewer says, Billy Bob Thornton, you guys formed in just the last couple of years, right? Billy Bob says, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to quote this whole thing to you because it's crazy. And the interviewer says, how so? And Billy Bob's like, I don't know what you mean by that. And the interviewer says, when did the band form? And he says, I don't know what that means. And then his bandmates jump in and try to answer, but they're mostly like looking at Billy Bob like uncomfortable, like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Then the interviewer is like, well, you guys went on tour with Willie Nelson. Billy Bob Thornton, what did you learn from him? And Billy Bob says, I never met him.
What?
And then the interviewer's like, you guys don't hang out while you're on tour? He says, I don't know. And then the interviewer actually interrupts him and says, you don't know what I mean. Why do I get the impression you're going to answer with that everything I say? Did Willie choose you guys to go on tour with him? And Billy says, gee, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. It really is like an I think you should leave sketch. This is
crazy. So at this point, from the camera angle, you can see the interviewer's laptop screen that's facing him. And his producer has written him a message that says, if this really goes sideways, I have New Neil and New Metric standing by.
Whoa.
So they're talking about what inspired their band. And the interviewer says, is that true for you, Billy? Were you a fan of the Stones and the Monkees as a kid? Billy says, I always liked baseball as a kid. And the interviewer was trying to roll with it. It's like, oh, you almost became a pro baseball player, right? Billy says, I don't know, maybe.
Why
like,
is he even here if he doesn't want to do the interview? What's wrong with him?
It hasn't even gotten as weird as it's going to get yet. So
boy.
He says, but didn't you love music as a kid? And Billy's answer, this is where it gets really weird. I was subscribed to a magazine called Famous Monsters of Filmland, and the publisher was a guy who passed away recently. And the interviewer is like, do you remember what you were listening to musically as a kid? Just completely ignoring that answer.
Oh my gosh.
Billy completely ignoring the interviewer.
Yeah, what are they doing? Why are they both of them need to stop? Like
Billy says they had a contest where you could build your own model, and it could be anything from King Kong to one of those monsters that was actually in the magazines. And they made these plastic models in those days, and you could buy and put together. But this is something where you could make your own world. And I actually did it once, and it was a big deal for us kids in those days. And the interviewer says, where does music fit into that? He says, music? No, it was a monster magazine.
Well, why is it? Why? Okay, is this interviewer like the world's biggest airhead? Like, clearly this guy doesn't want to talk about music.
So he goes, but given that you were passionate about music, I was wondering. And then Billy interrupts and says, would you say that to Tom Petty? And then the interviewer is like, are you reacting to the fact that and Billy says, yeah, since you were instructed not to talk about that shit, I am. And the interviewer is like, is it because I mentioned you were an actor? And he says, that wasn't supposed to be mentioned either. And the interviewer is like, well, that's just to give context. I'm happy to interview you as a band, but for listeners, we're giving context on who you are. And he says, no, not really, no. And the interviewer says, would you prefer that I do this without mentioning your acting career at all? And Billy says, correct. And he says, but you know that you're a new band and you might benefit from your already famous career.
What does he think?
Billy's like, well, we're not really that new.
Oh,
And
well, at least he's talking about music now. I mean, geez.
Billy Bob is crazy to like follow the logic backward. He said music is your first love. And Billy, who is now thinking I am a musician, is like, you wouldn't say to Tom Petty, music is your first love. But Tom Petty's not an actor.
Yeah, like so that's what I don't get.
He wasn't an actor first. So I mean, he felt like, I think, that the interviewer was not interviewing him as a musician in the most passive aggressive way possible. He's like, if I'm not a musician, then I don't know anything about any of this. And also I'm going to talk about completely unrelated things because he mentioned film, which is totally unrelated to music. So I'm going to mention monsters.
But like, Billy Bob, you wouldn't even be in the room if you weren't a musician.
I know.
Like, the interview
So-
wouldn't be happening if you weren't a musician. My man,
Yeah.
you are completely nuts. You're off your rocker. You're insane, Billy Bob Thornton. What are you
He's freaking
even
insane,
doing with your life?
So-
Like, jeez.
So the interviewer
Oh,
tries
my
to
goodness.
interview him on the music, and he's like, so there's an interesting fusion of different genres in your music style. And this might sound a little familiar. So I'm pretty much a music historian, so yeah. But yeah, it's cosmic cowboy music.
Oh, cosmic cowboy music.
That's where the phrase cosmic
jeez.
gumbo comes from.
Does he ever talk about his rates, his quote?
No.
'Cause,
I mean, it keeps
man.
going for a while, and the band is like gonna play music on this show. And Billy is just like, yeah, they'll take it from here, and he leaves. And I'm pretty sure he was supposed to stay and play music with them, but he just
That
leaves.
makes sense. Yeah. Wow. I sure hope the rest of the band kicked him off after that because he's being a complete asshole.
It's just crazy
Man.
watching that interview, just like train wreck in slow motion. Like, what is going on here, Billy? What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I get that it's a music interview, and I'm on the interviewer's side. I'm surprised he didn't give up, is all. Like, I mean, this guy clearly didn't want to talk about music. So I guess he was being a good journalist. He's being a good interviewer.
Yeah,
He wanted to get to
trying
the
to
bottom
figure
of
it
it.
out.
Like, wow. I don't know if I could have coped with that awkwardness. Like, I probably would have started talking to someone else in the
very
room.
weird. People online were saying, like, who does Billy Bob think he is, comparing himself to Tom Petty? And I have to admit, I have no idea who Tom Petty is, except
That's
for
a
Will and
name I've
Grace,
heard.
where Grace
Whoa.
says to Will, should I pay you in pettiness, Mr. Petty? Tom Petty?
Tom Petty. Wow.
I'm
Whoa,
guessing
that's
he's a very
really
famous
great Will and
musician,
Grace
but
callback.
unlike Billy Bob, I'm not pretty much a music historian, so I don't.
Oh,
I'm not-
that's true. Yeah, you wouldn't know. Man, you wouldn't have said something like that to Tom Petty, who was not an actor. So, yeah, he definitely wouldn't have. What on earth? Was he just like, did he snort a line of coke before he went in
Maybe.
there? Like, jeez.
So that's the Billy Bob Crashmore connection.
That's insane. That's a really good theory. I'd never even heard that. I'm so happy to know that. Man, that's so weird. Billy Bob Thornton's a weirdo. What an
know.
absolute weird man. I guess everyone should go and look up that interview. Well, that's going to be it for today. I hope you've all enjoyed all the fan theories so far, but fear not. We are going to continue next time. We have even more fan theories and sketches to discuss from I Think You Should Leave. In the meantime, as you wait for next week's episode, make sure to give us a like, tell your friends about us. We've got a Patreon if you just can't get enough. If you want to hear some more while you're waiting, then you come join our Patreon. We've got access to subscriber-only little clips and excerpts from our episodes. You can hear some of what's going on behind the scenes, some of what doesn't quite make it into our episodes. Some of them even have guest stars, the directors and the writers that come on our podcast. In the meantime, remember, the popcorn isn't real.
In a world of shadows and dreams, nothing is quite what it seems. We're the fools in a midnight reel. The popcorn isn't real. Chasing clues through the silver screen, wishing for a tale that's unseen. Hold my hand through this hazy spiel. The popcorn isn't real. Behind the curtain, there's nothing to feel. The popcorn isn't real. Caught in a moment that will never heal. The popcorn isn't real. We craft a fiction within fiction's mind, searching for secrets we'll never find. Every clue just a future we steal. The popcorn isn't real. We whisper theories, but they all fade. A fleeting ghost in a midnight parade. that's the real's appeal. The